Very good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and a very warm welcome right here. I'm Anka Deepa Srivastav, and I welcome everybody over here at the Insurance Conclave powered by Insurance Alerts, new aggregator for insurance industry, sponsored by the New India Assurance Corporation Limited, India's largest general insurance company, Cigna TTK Health Insurance Corporation Limited, India's fastest standalone health insurance company, and Insurance Federation of India. Can we have a loud applause for them? Come on, everyone. Well, very warm welcome to all those who have just joined us right now. And I hope everyone, you'll have had a great lunch. Yes or no? Thank you so much. Well, for the third topic of discussion right now, we have what future products intermediaries can expect from insurance companies. And to shed more light on this topic, our panelists are Mr. S.K. Sethi, Vice President, Insurance Foundation of India. Can we have a loud applause and welcome him, everybody, on the stage? Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon, sir. Next to join us on our session, we have Mr. Akshay Dhand, Actuary, Canara HSBC Oriental Bank of Commerce Insurance, Life Insurance Corporation Limited. Come on, everybody, put your hands together and welcome him over here. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us at the panel. Last but not the least, to join us for this session on our panel, we have Mr. Chetan Prakash, National Head Products, Bajaj Allianz General Insurance Company Limited. Please welcome him with a loud applause, everyone. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us. The mics are on, gentlemen. Well, I request Mr. S.K. Sethi to please moderate the panel. Thank you so much.
Hello. It is an honor for me to have two great persons from Canara HSBC and another gentleman from Bajaj Allianz General on the panel. The discussion before us is future products intermediaries can expect from insurance companies. Let me start at the grassroots level where we are today. Our expectation from insurance companies can be very wide, very large, because India is a very large country, large population, different states, different expectations, needs, and all that thing. Why not we first have a look at it, that the products which we are having, are they fulfilling the needs? Are they being followed to the extent what these insurance companies got the approval from IRDA? One of the greatest challenge which we find from our customers is that when they say that we have gone to the website of such and such company and this health insurance product is available till the age of 79. In reality, it is that the insurance companies are having instructions given to their underwriters or to their branches that this product is not to be sold to a person who has crossed the age of 65. It is that let us have these products be available to those customers who are ready to buy the products in its present format. And the person might be of the age of 65 or 68 or 70. So it is that then some companies say that, okay, we are having that the product is valid till the age of 79 provided someone has bought this product when he was below 65. So my request to the panelists is that how to take care of this why not we improve the broadband of this age so that the policies can be issued to all the persons in the present format itself. Then it is that in the case of life insurance, it is that one of the highly popularized product, Pradhan Mantri Jeevan Jyoti, what is the age limit up to which this product is being sold? And there it is that we will have the response from the life insurance side that why this age which the government is selling this product through the insurance companies, why the age limit has been put such that those who are in the very normal working age bracket of maybe 52, 54, they are not covered under Pradhan Mantri Jeevan Jyoti product. So let's start having it. I will go on and having more and more questions and all that thing. Let's hear from Bajaj Allianz on what is the response to it, that why we are not covering the normal public in the age group of 65, 67 and all with top-up products, with the normal health insurance products when they need it.
Yeah, I think this is one of the biggest concern that the general populace is having, that why is the insurance cover not available at a later stage of your life? The issue is that these restrictions come for one primary reason, that as you get older, then the possibility of diseases, contracting diseases of various types becomes more probable. And the second is that at such an age, people usually have some kind of a disease for which a medical test is required, or you have to undergo that test before the insurance company or before the underwriters decide that whether the proposal can be accepted or not. But I will tell you one thing, this insurance market is evolving. And in the last few years, you would have seen that many such products have come in the market where the insurance policy can be bought at a much later stage as compared to what it was available earlier. So I think it is changing quite a lot, but I think the awareness level is definitely very low in health still. And I feel that insurance is something that should be bought at a younger age. And that is what I feel. But coming to your second point, where you mentioned that there are certain products where you write on the brochure that this policy is available at a particular age, and that is actually not there when you go to the insurance companies. That I don't think should be correct, because whatever IRDA approved products are there, insurance companies are bound to abide by it. So any policy which is available for a particular age group, I think that policy is available with the insurance company, unless of course there is some very adverse medical record or something of that kind, which the underwriters are not comfortable accepting.
Let me react to this thing. I would have been satisfied with the comment which he made if the premium to be paid is stable at the same level after age of, let us say, example, 60 years. When you are increasing the premium at the age of 65, 66, 67, when you have done the pricing, then there should not be any hesitation in insuring the person, provided he has agreed to go in for medical examination as per your requirement. When you are increasing it, then you cannot say no. You should not say no.
Can I add in here?
Yeah, please.
So, sir, very rightly you said that the premium is increasing with increasing age, but to add to what the comment from Bajaj is being made. The problem is that the pricing at a higher age tends to become a little more difficult to do, and a lot more approximations have to come in because the data itself is not available. So, if you go into the actuarial concepts of pricing, you need to have a decent amount of data to be able to price the risks appropriately. And hence, as you grow older, you find that the amount of data which you have is lower and lower, and hence the pricing becomes that much more difficult. Having said that, I would actually agree with what he said, that this is changing. We are getting products which are available at a higher age, and as we have seen things evolving in the Indian insurance industry. And also the coverage is also being provided, certainly on the life insurance space, coverage is being provided to a higher age. To add to one more point which he mentioned, actually it does make sense for insurance, for individuals to purchase insurance at an earlier age, because you need coverage for that much period of time, especially, and in fact, if you look at the life insurance space, the maximum amount of coverage is needed when the person is actually working. You know, when in case of his or her unfortunate death, you know, the family will have to have some other option, other avenue for income, which will not be there once the person is not there. So I think insurance is actually required to be bought at a much earlier age than 60, 65. And let me answer the PMJJBY question as well, sir, which you specifically posed. So the PMJJBY, which is the Pradhan Mantri Jeevan Jyoti Bima Yojana scheme, is actually available till the age of 50. And so anybody who's up to the age of 50 can purchase in the scheme. And the reason they've put a restriction is that because they wanted the scheme to, you know, be available to a very large population, and that's why the premium has been kept fixed at rupees 330. So obviously some amount of calculation have gone into, you know, allowing for the premium of 330. And if ages were to be increased, it could be the case that the premium could be increasing much more. So that's why also, so you have to balance the need of an affordable insurance as well as, you know, the coverage has to be wide enough, and that's why it's been kept at 30. The premium has been, the age has been kept maximum at 50. So you can add.
See, you are the right person to say that what is the average age of Indian now. As we read in some of the publications, maybe it is now 67 years or something. It is that expecting people that when the retirement age in the country is 60 years, and now for some of the jobs it is even 65 years, you are saying that you are not giving the benefit of Jeevan Jyoti to person who has crossed the age of 49. Because 50 years it ends. So 49 years, 2 days is if it's the date is, then the person is out of Jeevan Jyoti. And then it is that, why are we harping on the point of 330 rupees as a very low figure? Where it is that in this country, sir, you must be knowing it, that insurance, life insurance companies have issued group policy at the rate of 38 rupees per lakh. That is that in a desire to grab the business, that is the lowest rate which I have heard in this country is 38 rupees per lakh, which means 76 rupees for 2 lakhs rupees coverage. Whereas in Jeevan Jyoti, where the group size is comprising of maybe 6 crore per people, and 330 is, you are saying is less. It is, I say that it is very high. Very high. We do small groups as insurance brokerage firm. We do groups of 300 and all that thing, where the rates which we have got from the insurance companies have been 125 rupees per lakh against 165 of Jeevan Jyoti. It is that, are we trying to grab it? Let me be very critical for thought-provoking discussion that the same thing has been done by us in the case of Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana, where it is that in the first year when the Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana was there, then the premium went up very high. And how can it happen in a country like India that in the next year the farmers covered has come down, the premium has come down? What are we doing it? In a country where crores and crores of farmers are not having insurance of their Fasal Bima, and we are finding that the farmers covered, their number has come down, the premium has come down, because there has been a great desire of the insurance companies to make profit out of any scheme which is announced by the government. And then it is that some tendering is done and this is done, and someone gets one state and someone gets other state. It is that let us mature ourselves and take care of the needs of the country.
I absolutely agree with what you're saying. That we do definitely need to look at mass market products which will cover the insurance needs of the country, because the penetration of insurance in India, the life insurance, is quite low as compared to the world. So I'd fully agree with you over there. My point on PMJJY specifically, although remains, first of all, the premium has not been decided by the insurance company. It's been decided by the government. It's been given to us that this is the premium you can charge and this is the cover you provide. The second thing is, it is a scheme which is available to everyone. So anybody who has a bank account can technically go for a PMJJY. So the risk coverage becomes very vast, and it's actually not possible for you to restrict anybody from taking this insurance. So I presume this sort of calculation would have gone into the premium, and whether the premium is high or low is, I guess, is a matter of debate, and we'll not go there. But the fact remains that this is a government scheme, and that's where the premium is coming from, and the coverage area, the coverage age is also coming from there. But yeah, I do agree with you that mass market is a very key segment in the Indian insurance space, and that is something which has not been tapped successfully. Insurance companies, in fact, so far have actually focused on the metros and the tier 1 cities. So it's definitely, as the purpose of the discussion, one of the points is that what future products we can expect from insurance companies as intermediaries. So I think definitely products which cater to the mass market is something which companies ought to work on.
See, I fully agree with it that we are going to the future products. First, we are spending some time on assessing the present products. It is that my question to honorable panel member is, if health insurance proposal form is filled up where it is mentioned that the person was affected with polio when he was a child, why health insurance policy should not be issued to him? He suffered with polio, he has recovered it, he is moving and all that, whatever and his disability is there, it is there. The person is prone to getting typhoid or malaria or something, why policy is not issued to him? That is, what is happening? Is it that when you talk in terms of that our portfolio is so many hundreds of crores, we are having so many crores persons are covered, if you will have 30 or 50 or 70 persons who suffered with polio in their childhood, why you are not issuing a health insurance policy to them? Why are you trying to keep them out of that growing market of policy holders?
Yeah. So, first of all, let me clarify that the insurance proposals are accepted in any of the organization, in any of the general insurance organization, based on the health condition of a person. But let me tell you something. Anything that has happened in the past, long past, and the person has recovered from it, and if his health conditions are such, then there is no possibility of those diseases recurring to him. I don't think any insurance company is restricting those kind of proposal forms. So I think the companies have started, as I told you, the health insurance is evolving. Initially, people had a lot of apprehension that these kind of proposals may lead to losses. But now I think the insurance companies have become very liberal so far these proposals are concerned. Few cases here and there I can understand that there could be some peculiarity which we cannot discuss here in the panel. But generally speaking, my belief is that most of the proposals where there is no possibility of recurrence of that disease, the insurance companies are very keen to accept that.
See, one of the technique which marketing can use is, you got X number of proposals and you issued X minus 5,000 policies. Analyze those 5,000, why these were not accepted it. Is it that in our new products we will take care of that? But there is a tendency on the part of the branch offices of these insurance companies where it is that they don't accept the proposal form. That proposal form or the condition does not get communicated to the head office. How many thousands of such proposals are not being accepted in the branch offices? Have you tried to capture that? Unless and until you will capture that, where it is that the customers are being denied the opportunity to be your customer and the papers are being sent back. We can take example of some of the companies where it is that this is more popular in the particular in the case of PSUs, where they say that Anaki, you take this proposal to the other branch, I will not do it. It means that he is finding it that Anaki, that yes, proposal is worth it, but it is that he is looking at his profit figure. Sir, the brands are created by spending hundreds of crores of rupees by putting money in advertising, in logo design, in social media. Do not let the people at the branch level to destroy that brand by doing these type of things which are happening in each and every company, each and every branch, where I am talking on behalf of insurance brokerage firm and many other insurance brokerage firms are also present, agents are present. That is the disappointment which we get from the branches. Take care of those. What those people are doing it, when you will have high degree of professionalism where you will be having cost center and profit center type of accounting at the branch level, then the branch people are refusing so many of customers and letting them go away to your competition. That is you have to take care of. Do you have a mechanism to capture that? Do you have the mechanism to capture that those customers who wanted to be your customer were refused at the branch level itself? I will appreciate the light on this.
Yes, sir. I think now it is working. Yeah, I think it is a very valid suggestion, and most of our intermediaries and the brokers and the distributors, they are quite distressed about it. So that is a fact. Now let me tell you something. There are two types of proposal in any insurance company. One is something which is a straight pass policy proposal, that if the proposal has certain characteristics, it has to be underwritten at the local level only. There are certain proposals which are slightly tricky, and there probably the doctors who are in the underwriting team, they would like to have a look at it. I cannot comment about the insurance industry as a whole because I'm not qualified to do that, but then I can definitely talk about the company that I belong to, Bajaj Allianz General Insurance Company. All those proposals which are straightforward, I think all the branches are empowered to underwrite those proposals. Anything which is not underwritten, that definitely catches the attention of the head office. We have something like a code bank where we try to analyze those proposals where the customer wanted to be our insureds, but for some reason we have not accepted that. And then if there are some ways out, we try to find it out that how we can do it. And if it is not possible to do it at the present level, then we try and explore the possibility that in future products, how we can accommodate these proposals. The second thing, I think Akshay also will agree with me, that there is no proposal in any insurance industry which cannot be accepted. You have to pay a price for it. So as an actuary, you have to pay a price for it. I mean, you would agree for that. Now, if the anti-selection is too much, then the insurance companies are slightly wary of it, for the simple reason that there is a very strong possibility of the occurrence of this disease. But let me tell you again that health insurance industry, what it was 10 years back and how it has evolved now, I think there is a sea of difference. So this is my comment on this.
Sir, I also agree with what he said. I think the aim of an insurance company is to, cover, provide coverage to the general population at large, and often, especially in the life insurance space, insurance so the coverage element of insurance is something only an insurance company can provide, and no other financial services provider can provide that. So I think insurance as a whole is a very important aspect of the society. And we have evolved, the insurance industry, the life insurance industry, I can talk about life more because I belong to the life insurance space, is out of 17 years old once the privatization happened. And we have seen a lot of changes in the way things are underwritten, the way products are priced. And the aim is to incorporate as large a mass of population to be coming under the ambit of insurance as possible. So even when cases are declined or deferred because there's no certainty regarding, or there's less lack of certainty regarding the health of the individual, we do tend to go back to them and see after a while whether can these be now accommodated in the pricing which we have. So I think we are moving in the right direction, but obviously more needs to be done.
Let us start moving towards what can be future. My input towards this is there has been overemphasis in the insurance industry on employer-employee group, and that has been covered as group, whether it is group health insurance or group term insurance or like that. There has been another segment which is comprising of microfinance, micro groups, self-help groups, and the third one has been what we should call as affinity group. This industry has neglected the affinity group like anything, which is going to be a very big growth potential of this industry in the country. And for the information of some of you, let me describe what we look in our Insurance Foundation of India as affinity groups are. Affinity groups can be alumni association of a university or a school. It can be some musical group which is having 600 members who meet frequently for musical programs. It can be some other group, it can be some religious group and all that thing. The only group which I have heard and which has been having a reputation which is, let me not comment on it, has been Jain International Organization, GEO, which has been in existence in this country for last maybe 5-7 years, which has nothing to do with the Reliance Jio, but it is a group health insurance policy group which is having non-Jains also are member of it, because you have to pay 250 rupees to become a member of this group, and then you can have the insurance policy which goes on changing from one company to another company to another company every year, and we will have input from Bajaj Allianz general side on this. Is that in that Geo group, which is my information was that it is having 8 lakh members, and it covers all over India, and pre-existing diseases are covered, and people are motivated when one is going in for health hospitalization that you take Geo wali policy le lo aur apna claim lagao. Then it is that, what is your viewpoint on this type of thing, that we are refusing the normal groups and small groups and self-help groups and alumni of Indian Institute of Management Ahmedabad or IIT Madras and all that thing, but we are giving policy to GEO, which is a known group with sorry. Is it? The scheme is stopped now. Now it is stopped. Okay, fine. So it is good that it is stopped now. That is. But at the peak of its popularity, and that is the losses it caused to the specific insurance company was huge, huge. So it is that, let us come to it, that are we going to encourage affinity groups and self-help groups and alumni associations and maybe a trade union, that is. A trade union might be having members coming from 10 manufacturing companies in the area, and they can have a policy which will cover the workers, whether they are in job or they are without job, because many of them are contract employees. If they become the member of the group health policy, when they are without job, it will be a big help to them that they are having the policy which was issued on behalf of their trade union by an insurance company.
Sir, I fully agree with you. I think what you have spoken about the affinity groups and the affinity policies, I think it makes a lot of sense. And unfortunately, insurance industry has been trying something of it, but we have not been able to scratch the surface of the iceberg. It is a huge, huge potential. Anything that is on a group platform gives you a big premium, so everybody is interested. All the teams are interested in grabbing that premium. And what you talk about the bigger groups, I can tell you that some of the insurance companies are ready to do this business at a loss also, for the simple reason that they are looking at the top line at some point of time. But frankly speaking, I think affinity is one of the biggest area which has remained highly unexplored. So we should definitely be working on it. And I think all the broker fraternity, the bigger ones, the insurance companies, they have come out with a specific vertical, which is known as a affinity vertical now, who are working on this. And I think this is one area where they feel that just because the constitution of the group is in a particular fashion, like you talk of Doctors Association, or you talk of the ex-army men, or if you talk of the self-help groups, they have a different character altogether. Each group has a different character. Suppose you talk of a doctor. Each doctor would be having a very high-end car, but probably the usage of the car would be very little. If you talk of ex-army men, those people are covered for a health insurance policy from the government of India, central government. But if you talk of their vehicles, their home insurances, they are just not there. So these affinity groups are emerging now, and these small groups, people are interested now, because these groups unfortunately have not remained, they have not been addressed up till now. So I think insurance companies are taking a very active interest in these groups, and these groups are definitely becoming more popular with the insurance companies.
It is very good to hear that this thinking has been accepted in the insurance companies, and they will be there. Many of you who are connected with insurance brokerage firms will be pleased to know it. And we find that this is going to be a very good growth area, because depending upon the cities, maybe Mumbai is slightly different, but in Delhi we are having that what is called as Resident Welfare Association. So every colony, it might be having 2,200 houses, or it might be having 1,800 apartments. These RWAs are a very good catchment area for selling of group health insurance. It can be very good for selling of home insurance. But there it is that now it is that I am putting a probing idea that when we go to RWA, and RWA is convinced that yes, and that is all the apartments should be insured, then we find that 20% of those apartment owners will say that I am already having housing loan, so therefore I am having the insurance policy which is issued to me by the bank from where I took the loan. And that becomes the discouraging point for the idea to be shot down. And as a result of that, we lose the opportunity of reaching to 80% of the apartment owners. That is, there has to be some way out, we have to come out. And then again, I'm putting one of the idea to you is that these bank people have been selling house insurance because they are giving housing loan under the name of home loan. House is comprising of structure and walls and all that thing. When you put furniture, when you put equipment, appliances, curtains, carpets, all that thing, then house becomes home. And it is that as a result of that, where you might have insured a house for 20 lakhs rupees, there might be having contents which are again of 20 lakhs rupees, which remains uncovered because the homeowner says that I am already insured. Can there be a policy, innovative idea, where it is that let the house insurance be with one company, which is bank has done it? Can there be insurance of contents only, which can be issued as a separate policy?
Sir, I think it is a very, very pertinent point that you have raised. And unfortunately, home insurance is one of the products which has a lot of mystery around it. People do not understand what home insurance is all about. When they talk of home insurance, they feel that the structure and the content both have to be insured at the same time, which is not true. In fact, all those people who have the structure insured, they can just take an insurance policy for the contents. And that is very much permissible under the insurance, this thing. There are quite a few good products in the market. Unfortunately, I can tell you of all the insurance products that are there available in the market, home insurance is one of the products which is highly, highly underpenetrated. Although people spend their life creating that home, they get things, precious things from various places, keep it in their house. But unfortunately, when it comes to insurance, they do not attach any importance to it. That is slightly unfortunate. There are very good insurance products in the market, which takes care of not only your contents, which are there in the house, which are static, it also covers the products or the appliances or the equipments, which are portable. Like your mobile phone can be covered, your laptop can be covered, your iPad can be covered, and this cover can be given on a worldwide basis, not only in the house. I will give you a very interesting example, sir. Now what has happened is that in Kerala, we are all aware that there was a very devastating flood there and one of its type in so many years. Now we have a good penetration of insurance in Kerala. We have our own employees whose houses have been devastated, it has been flooded, the water has entered there. Unfortunately, our own employees of Bajaj Allianz, despite knowing that there is a product that is there in the market, they have not bought the insurance policy. So I think now home insurance is one of the areas where we have to create a lot of awareness. And all these people who are sitting here, as an insurance fraternity, it is our responsibility to reach out to these people and make sure that home insurance, which is available in the best possible form, I can tell you this product is the best that can be available anywhere in the world. If this product is there with us, it is our responsibility to reach out to them. You talk to any person, any person, either on your walk or on the jog or in an office, and you talk about the home insurance product, the person will be suddenly interested. He would say that, yes, it is a fantastic product. And then when you ask him that why he has not been able to buy this policy, the answer would be that nobody ever told me. So we as an insurance fraternity has failed in distribution of this product, which is very, very relevant in the present context.
As an insurance brokerage firm where we have been selling home insurance of many insurance companies, I have no hesitation in saying that the product of Bajaj Allianz General is the best product which is available in the market, because it has gone beyond that conventional method which was propagated by our PSUs since long time, where it is that we calculated the cost of the house by multiplying square feet area with the suitable multiplication factor, whereas Bajaj Allianz General does the insurance on the basis of the market value of the flat, which is very true, which we have sold many of their policies to the customer, that if you are staying on the 15th floor of an apartment building, even if you get the money for your structure, if the other flat owners, apartment owners do not agree to construct that building, what you will do with that money, which is very small and with which you cannot have your family to live in. So therefore, you should have the insurance of your apartment at the market value, so that across the road or 1 kilometer away from there, with that money which you get from Bajaj Allianz General, you can buy another apartment. So I am very, very open in appreciating the product designer who designed this product on behalf of Bajaj Allianz General. Please convey our compliments to him for coming up with this product.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Comments on Affinity Group.
So, sir, I agree with the comments which he's made on affinity groups. And, while you were classifying self-help groups separate to affinity groups, I actually tend to classify in life insurance, whatever is not employer-employee, we tend to classify all of these as affinity groups. And I totally agree that there is a vast market for it. And insurance companies are working towards, creating products and providing. So especially in the life insurance space, we offer a group term life cover to affinity groups, and insurance companies are, some of the insurance companies are very active in this market. Especially with regards to, self-help groups and the mass market segment, which is something I mentioned before, that is one of the needs of the country as a whole as far as insurance is concerned. And I actually find that the Pradhan Mantri schemes, which are kind of group term life cover products covering affinity groups, where the group is defined as bank account holders of any bank in India, are actually products, are the way to go for products, because these are sort of products which will provide coverage to the people who are not covered, who desperately need cover, and also open up avenues for insurance companies to penetrate deeper into the Indian populace, and truly be a pan-Indian insurance company. So I fully agree with that.
Some time back, when we were hearing the viewpoint of the panel members, there was a term used that insurance should be bought early in one's life. It's a very good saying, but it is that when you are in early part of your life, when you have started earning, you are out of the university and you are having the constraints, and you would like to enjoy, and you would like to travel, you would like to go for music shows and this and that. That is not the time when you think of savings and you think of insurance. When you get married, you are having a small family, you are having the child who has to go to the school and admission fees to be paid. You don't have money left for buying insurance. So therefore, even today, maybe after 10 years, we will have the same scenario. So let us not base our thinking on that one. It is that when you are in the age group of 45, 50, that is the time when you start thinking about old age and all that thing, and you will become customers of health insurance and other things and all that thing, even pension fund, annuity, those terminologies you start thinking at that time. Is it that we can attract our youngsters, young families, into buying insurance by giving them the option which life insurance companies have been giving for a long time, whether you want to pay yearly premium or half yearly or quarterly or monthly? We as not-for-profit organization have been propagating for last 9 years to IRDA and to others that health insurance policy should be available on installment basis, on EMI basis. And there it is that maybe 2 years back, we had opportunity of hearing from Bajaj Allianz General when Bajaj Finserv came up with the EMI plan, where Bajaj Finserv was on the back of health insurance policy by giving loan to the policy holder, and the payment was going to Bajaj Allianz General. But my understanding is that there were some constraints in that. But now that IRDA has accepted it in principle, that now you will have the option of buying health insurance policy on the basis of installment plan. It's a good step being taken by the regulator and by the insurance companies, and we would like to have small credit to our NGO that we could bring the wishes of the masses in front of the regulator, that health insurance, if you know that you can pay in 12 monthly installments, whether it is EMI or whatever term you call it, then you would like to have this policy, because we know many families who thought of buying health insurance, but they never bought it because they could not come out with a check for 20,000 rupees or 30,000 rupees in one go. But every month, 1,500 or 2,000, they are ready to pay out of the salary inflow. So that is a welcome step. Is it that Bajaj Allianz General or other insurance companies are thinking in the same way in terms of home insurance? The best option can be, which we at one time have suggested to IRDA, was that there can be a combo policy for a common man that is at the bottom of the pyramid, which will take care of his home, which is comprising of one room, his motorbike, his health insurance, and his term insurance, that let it be a one product where it is that he can make the payment in 12 monthly installments. If we can bring that type of thing, we will be able to reach a large segment of this country comprising of maybe 10, 20, 30 crore people. What's the thinking on this one?
Yeah. I think what you are mentioning about is very actively being thought of, that I can tell you. Now everybody has realized, as you rightly said, that shelling out 20,000 or 50,000 rupees as a premium in one shot is not easy for any middle class family or upper middle class family. But a EMI option is something that everybody is interested in. Now there are quite a few banks and financial institutions who are also coming forward to give this EMI facility for the insurance products. Insurance product definitely is going to be coming on EMI very shortly. That is something we are very hopeful of. The second thing that is happening, and which I see a very strong possibility is in the days to come, is that we are going to have some kind of a sachet product, a small ticket size product. I will give you an example. Suppose you are there at home all the time, and once in a year you wish to go for a trip to a hill station or something of that kind. And during that time you find that your house is unattended. Can you buy an insurance policy for 5 days for your home? If you are going for an adventure sport, can you buy a policy only for that duration when you are going for the adventure sport? So these are the thinkings which are already coming in the minds of the insurance company. Because let me tell you one thing. Earlier insurance products were designed in such a fashion that the designer and the manufacturer of the insurance product was the insurance company. So the thought was that it should at least take care of the interest of the insurance company. That was the thought initially. Now let me tell you, the focus is shifting, And people are trying to, all the insurance companies are trying to make these insurance policies more and more relevant to the customer. So what we are actually trying to do, and most of the insurance companies are doing that they want to address the worries of the customer rather than selling a product which is a plain vanilla product kind of a thing that I have this policy and you buy it. They are trying to customize the product, keeping the worries of the customer in mind. The moment the insurance companies evolve to that level and we are able to address the worries of the customer, believe me, general insurance penetration is going to go up substantially. That I can assure. And so is going to be the case with life insurance also.
Very well said. In countries like USA, Canada, it is very common that in case you are going out of your hometown or your country and your vehicle will not be used for 2 months or 4 months, you have to inform the insurance company and the policy gets extended by that much period. Here it is that when the owner of the car is buying overseas travel policy for 4 months because he is going to USA or to Australia with his child and all that thing, the car is going to be in the garage or in the house for 4 months. No one is able to guide them that yes, your car insurance policy will get extended by 4 months because the car will not be used. Can you throw light on it that is it that the existing car insurance policy covers this benefit, or it is that you are trying to have some improvement in the product accordingly?
Frankly speaking, the product that we have now, the product that is there with us, does not of suspending the policy for the duration you are not there. But there are other options, like you can have a third-party insurance policy only. You can have a third-party insurance policy, including fire and theft of the policy, of the vehicle, or you can have a comprehensive insurance policy. But suspending the vehicle insurance policy for a short duration is something that is not available as of now. So insurance companies are definitely thinking about it. There are many more revolutionary thoughts which are going into the minds of the product developers. And they are thinking of coming out with a product which you may see very shortly, where you pay as you use. So if you are not using your vehicle enough, then why you should be paying the premium of a person who is using it for 100 kilometers a day? So if your usage is less, the exposure of your vehicle on the road is less, the probability of loss is less, then why you should be paying the full premium? So that is something that is already going on. And I'm sure that very shortly, we will have some very revolutionary products which will not only talk about the lesser use of the product, of the vehicle, it will also talk about some kind of the driving behavior of the customer. If the customer's driving behavior is good, then probably he can get some advantage there also on that premium. There can be some discount there, because there are different type of drivers on the road. So if a driver who is driving the vehicle very carefully, whose track record had always been good, he has not been over speeding, he has not been applying sudden brakes, probably those customers are considered to be a better risk for an insurance company compared to a guy who has been slightly negligent, whose vehicles are meeting with an accident every now and then. So these are the thoughts that are going on. And probably the segmentation of the customer is going to be in such a fashion that the better risks will attract lower premium, the higher risks will attract higher premium.
What I find is that insurance industry is still having that, I'm not talking of 60s, I'm talking of 70s. onward, what I have seen it, that we are unable to come out of those old policy languages and all that thing what were there in 70s and 80s, and even now these are being continued. In countries like USA, the car insurance policy is not given to the vehicle, it is given to the driver. And 70s, what might have happened, we have been giving the policy to the vehicle, and then it is that vehicle is driven by 4 different drivers. Out of that, one is on that daily duty who has just got motor driving license last month, and he is playing havoc with the vehicle and doing the driving, rash driving, drunkard driving and all that thing. It is that when we can expect that we will reward the very disciplined army officers and the doctors and those who are using the car in a very efficient, safe driving conditions, and penalize those who are driving. The best example in Delhi can be of that Grameen Seva, those little vehicles which are only popular for violation of traffic rules and all that thing. It is that let's come out of that is now that you are 24, 28, whatever number we can say of general insurance companies, at least Bajaj Allianz General can come out with the policy which will be issued to the driver, owner of the vehicle, and who is doing self-driving. That is, let's try to have innovative product in that direction. That
I think it is a very rational thought. Only thing is that it may require some regulatory changes. So that is something that, but believe me, going forward, this insurance industry is evolving and the way it is progressing, I am very hopeful that in the days to come, the bad drivers would be penalized and the good drivers will be rewarded. So that is the assurance. Whether the insurance policy will follow the fortune of the driver or the insurance policy would be issued to the driver is something that will depend upon the regulatory changes also. But something like this is definitely going to happen. There are quite a few things that are happening on the hindsight. If you see, the electrical vehicles are going to come. There is also talks of driverless cars that is going to come, which is going to be another revolution. Probably at that point of time, whether a motor vehicle insurance would be required or not is a question that is being asked, because it will only be liability. There will not be any driver there. Now, the third thing that is happening is that people are getting more and more attracted towards the facilities like Uber and Ola. So people are not trying to take their cars out as frequently as they used to do in the past, for the simple reason that the parking is not so easy. Driving on the roads have become a hassle. So all these things are changing the entire ecosystem of the motor vehicle industry. So a lot of things are happening on the hindsight. People are thinking on various permutation combinations. But let me tell you one thing, that in the years to come, the behavior of the driver and the usage of the car is definitely going to have a bearing on the premium that you pay for your vehicle.
we have covered various aspects through which we went in the direction that what innovations can be expected with respect to existing products, new technologies. It is like driverless cars when they will be there. And it is that some of the projections say that the motor premium, which at present is 42% or so of the total portfolio, or 46%, it may come down to as low as 10% in the years to come, where it is that the whole scene will be changing, and then it is we will be having maybe health will be very important portfolio, home will be very important portfolio, cyber, liability. Liability will definitely grow in the years to come, because we will become more and more conscious of the liability towards our employees, our home staff, our customers, our products, and all that thing. So this is the time that let us have maybe 5, 7, 10 questions from the audience, because you will be having much better idea to pose to us.
This is Rakesh Joshi, a recruitment officer from LIC. I have two small questions. First, that I have been taking insurance of my staff. Am I audible?
Yeah, you are.
Okay, thank you. First thing is that I've been taking insurance for my staff and their families into floater and other type policies from New India. And it started from couple of thousands, it went to 5,000, 10,000, and last 2 years, per person it is going to 20,000 rupees. One of them, 21,000 rupees. So last couple of years, this Mediclaim policies have been priced very high, and the reasons best known to the insurance company, and that is one of my question. Number two, recently I've been receiving alerts on this which is being launched by, from 15th of August, they say 5 lakhs rupees of Government of India, all the private hospitals treatment will be free, whereas, and 1,324 rupees per annum will be the charges for the same. And can you throw light on that also, Ayushman Bharat? So what, talking about very cheap insurance, various groups, Jan International Organization tie-up with Mediclaim, so which got stopped, I think, recently. And so this Ayushman Bharat, you can give highlights on, number one, and why insurance company Mediclaim premium have doubled in last 2 years, from 10,000 rupees to it has went to 21,000 rupees. Thank you very much.
Yeah. See, in health insurance, I think this is one of the biggest problems in group. What happens is that when you start the group, the average age of the employees is lower, and it increases as you go ahead over the years. So the possibility of contracting a disease or falling ill or falling sick or going to a hospital increases as you age. So when the average age of a group increases, the loss ratio of the group goes up. That is one. The second is, now there is a lot of medical advancement that is happening. Now medical advancement means one thing, that the longevity of a person is increasing. There are hardly any diseases which do not have a cure. But then the fact is that the cure is very expensive. The robotic technologies that are coming, various type of technologies that are coming every day, you will find that all these things are available in India, but they are costing a bomb. Now if you have to pay this for this premium, how do you pay it? For every insurance company, there is a burning cost. Suppose you have paid 100 rupees of premium, then there is some, it is your money only, which we are managing. So you pay the premium, and we have to manage the claims, we have to manage the management expenses, we have to manage the administration of the claim. So all these things put together should not exceed 100. The moment it starts exceeding 100, then insurance company go into a loss. So as the group, average group age of the group increases, then the loss ratios are bound to go up. Secondly, the medical expenses is another factor which is leading to high expenses. The third problem is that in some of the group policies, the employees also contribute. Now what happens is that there would be few employees who would be having a recurring problem every year because they have contracted some disease for which the treatment is required every year. But there are few people who have probably not claimed anything at all in the last 30 years or last 35 years. But then the group premium moves according to the age, not depending upon the claim experience. So in individual policy, you will find that the policy, the premium has a bearing on this thing, but your cumulative bonus you accrue over a period of time. If there is no claim, then you get a cumulative bonus and your sum insured goes up. In group policy, what happens is that performance of the group decides the premium of the group. So that is one reason why you are finding the premium to be going up. Ayushman Bharat, I can tell you, it is one of the best initiatives that the government has taken. I think general insurance or health insurance, taking it to the masses, I think this is the biggest step taken by the government. Now, 5 lakh sum insured being available to every family is a revolution in itself. So I think guys who have not been undergoing a particular surgery or have not been able to take a particular procedure or particular treatment, for the paucity of the money will not. And if the group size is so big, then probably it makes sense, because the premium we're talking about, I mean, whatever it settles at, I think it is going to be a good premium to start with. Depending upon how it pans out, probably the insurance companies will decide that how the premium has to be either taken up or brought down, whatever. It will all depend upon the performance of this policy. But thank you, very pertinent question.
Thank you very much, sir. Excellent reply.
Even though you posed the question to him and he answered it very well, let me add two aspects to this. 4 years back, in one of the health insurance conference in Delhi, Dr. Naresh Trehan was on the dais, who owns Medanta Hospital in Gurgaon. And he answered to this type of question in a very different manner. And he said that air conditioning which is used in a hotel like Holiday Inn or Oberoi is of much lower specifications in comparison to the air conditioning which is used in a hospital. In hospital, the air conditioning, that circulation has to be much faster because infection has to be controlled. In a hotel, all healthy persons are sitting or staying. Therefore, air conditioning is of much lower specifications. When you increase the rotation of the air at a faster rate, your energy consumption goes up. And 4 years back, Dr. Naresh Trehan had mentioned that his energy bill in Medanta is 5 lakhs rupees a day. He said that I will not compromise on the air conditioning with a view to reduce the cost of the medical bill, because I will not like my patients to be treated for cardiac or something and go back home with some other infection. Health is the most important thing which you have got it. Maybe you do not appreciate it when you are healthy. When you are unwell, then you realize it, that what God has given you. So therefore, never try to compromise when it comes to your health and health care. He answered it very well, that the technology improves, medication improves and all that thing. But then it is that there are developments which are bringing down stem cell technology, which has now come to that maturity level that now the price of stem cell techniques and all technology products has come down, which is going to benefit crores and crores of patients in the world. So things are improving. If for your slight accident you go to a X-ray clinic where the machine being used is a very normal, obsolete X-ray machine, it may not diagnose that what has happened. So therefore you go to digital X-ray and then you go to CAT scan and then you go to the higher level. So it is that your objective is to diagnose what has gone wrong, or what has gone wrong in your that is body, that blood test or something will show it. So therefore you take it that shortage of doctors in this country, shortage of good nurses in this country. You may be recognizing that nurse is a nurse. No. There are nurses who specialize in treating of cardiac patients, and there are nurses who specialize in treating other patients. So they go on migrating out of India to those destinations like Germany and USA and all that thing. So there is acute shortage of nurses in this country, paramedics in this country, and we have to cover it up with that. While Prime Minister has taken a great initiative of Ayushman, I would have been much happier if in 2014 he would have declared that in 5 years he will have every district to have one medical college and one nursing college. That would have fulfilled the need of the people, need of the insurance companies, because we need doctors and nurses to treat. The rates are going up because they are going in for that. There are doctors in Medanta and in some other hospitals in Delhi, I am not talking of Bombay, where it is that they are getting a monthly package of 1 crore rupees and above. If someone is being paid 1 crore rupees a month, naturally the money has to be recovered from the patients. And the patients are depending upon health insurance and general insurance, or they are going into debt and they are going into that trap where the life insurance policies which that family might have bought, after paying the heavy medical bill, the policy lapses. So life insurance companies having the biggest issue before them of lapsing of the policies, for which we can have what you are thinking in this direction.
Sir, very true. At a larger level, persistency or retaining policies is extremely crucial for any insurance company, be it life or general. And when a policyholder has paid a few premiums and then lapses the policy for whatever reason, it's actually a big loss to the company and to the policyholder as well, because they're no longer going to get the benefit which they ought to buy or to get when they bought the policy. So, I think it's crucial for us to educate customers on the benefits of insurance and make all possible ways for them to retain their policy so that they can enjoy the benefits. Thank you.
The second point which you had raised on Ayushman, don't take it that what I am saying is the 100% what is going to be announced is, it is going to be in most of the states a trust model, which you will confirm. Insurance companies are getting very little share of this Ayushman. Trust model is where it is that a trust will be formed in the state which will be headed by IAS officers, supported by IAS officers. And what they are going to do is that the amount which they have been allocating under the health ministry of the state to various hospitals, it is going to be churning around of that same thing by saying it that now when you are as a below the poverty line patient going into the hospital, you will show your card. So where earlier the X-ray was being done on free of cost, now it is that that card will be used and maybe 200 rupees or 400 rupees will be debited to that card, and it will be shown as a revenue in the hospital accounts. So it is same thing, and that is the cap is being rotated, and you will have more and more of such details in the months to come. So don't be very enthusiastic that a great thing is happening. It is on the same accounting treatment is being changed with a view to get the support of the masses for forthcoming elections. Chetan is the right person to comment or to refuse this viewpoint.
Well, I'm not qualified to comment on this because it is still shaping up. It has not been finalized yet. As Sir was saying, it is very correct that there is going to be a trust model and an insurance model and a combination of trust and insurance model, whatever. I will touch upon a very interesting aspect which our CEO, Mr. Tapan Singhal, was talking about a few days back. Now, he has a very interesting perspective to health insurance. He says that a person who buys a health insurance policy, his life span goes up at least a decade. And what he was saying is that a person who is not having an insurance policy, health insurance policy, if there is any problem, if there is any health issue, first he tries to avoid it or try to underplay it. He goes to a particular, maybe a very small neighborhood doctor, takes some medicine from him. He would avoid going for any major pathological test or any investigations because he has to spend that money from his pocket. Whereas a person who is having an insurance policy, he knows that everything is going to be paid by the insurance company. So he goes to the best of the doctor, get best of the investigations done, and probably the treatment that he gets is the very precise one. If you go to any hospital and you find, if you go to the billing counter, you will find that there will be many old age parents who would be coming there, and they would require some kind of a treatment. And when the doctors prescribe certain complicated surgery, which is going to cost a certain amount, the family members are reluctant, and probably they are looking at each other that who is going to foot the bill. Now a person who has lived all his life with a lot of dignity, when it comes to his own treatment, when he requires the care himself, at that point of time, he has to look at others for help. If a person has an insurance policy, there is a very strong possibility that this guy will go to a very good hospital, take the treatment, and probably he will be treated well. So any country, if you talk of a country like Uganda, and you talk of the life expectancy there, and the life expectancy in any developed country like Japan or Germany or any other country, you will find there is a huge difference. And this difference is of whether people are able to access the medical facilities that are available in the country or not. In our country, the problem is that people who do not have a health insurance, they find it extremely difficult to go to a very good hospital and get the right kind of treatment that they require at that stage. Yes.
In the panel, it was mentioned about packaging of certain insurances to reduce the cost for the client. We have some clients who are senior age group, and they have the regular medical policies for years to come. They have been starting at the age of about 30, 35. Now they are senior in the age group of 70 plus. Normally, most of these people, at least about say 70% of them, husband and wife, go out of the country for about 4 to 5 months. They have a medical policy, local, and they have to buy overseas medical policy for another 4 or 5 months there. They spend on both the policies. When there is no exposure at all, the insurance company charges here. As a broker, I find it very difficult to answer them that why the premium is being charged twice, that too 1/3 of a year. Can there be some solution to this? In addition, you mentioned about the car used by them. If the car is registered in the same person who is buying the policy, who is outside India, probably that can be combined with this. This is a new idea which I thought.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Sir, have you completed or there is something
I
else?
completed.
Yeah. Okay. So I think this is again a very, very pertinent and a very logical question. See, if a person is not in India, then there is no possibility of him getting treated in India. And he is going outside the country, he is buying an insurance policy because the medical expenses are absolutely at a different level when you go to US or Canada and the type of cost that you incur in India. Now, travel insurance policy is bought for the duration of travel that you do. In the present form of the policy that we have, there is no possibility of suspending that policy for that duration. Logically, it should be done. I think this is something again is being thought of. So as I told you that insurance companies are now started thinking about the worries of the customer. So our policies in future you will find that they are not going to be any more inward looking policies. They would be something which would be addressing the worries of the customer. So that is what we are talking about. And I'm sure that in the days to come, we will have some solution for this kind of this thing. But very logical point, very logical point.
Can I add something to
Yeah,
this?
please.
We requested the insurance companies concerned that can you consider a discount for overseas medical claim policy, which is non-tariff. It's very easy within the control of the company. Maybe they have to refer to a little higher level. But that was not taken care. So as a broker, I find it very difficult to say that insurance people are doing something good to the client as such. So you can take up this matter up. If you
Sure,
can help us
sure.
with the good. Thank you.
I fully appreciate your point.
Thing which is being noticed, you are feeling, someone else is feeling, I am feeling, is that now that we are having large number of insurance companies, someone should go in for segmentation, for specialization, and then prosper in that direction. If all of them are having the same product and the same features, it is not fulfilling the wishes of the masses. People, senior citizens, those who are living in tier 3 cities, those who are living in metros and who expect to be treated in the top hospitals, it is that we have to come out with now specialization. So I give you a case study that we got an inquiry from a client. He said that I need marine policy and the goods are going to Srinagar. Srinagar was having the peak of trouble at that time. And we said that, okay, send us the invoice so that we can give you the quotation. And he sent the invoice which was having crockery items worth 7,000 rupees, which were to go to Srinagar. Now, one, it is crockery. Second, it is going to Srinagar when there is a peak of problem. So it is that all the insurance companies, they said we will not issue the policy because they are all governed by very good underwriters. And when the staff member came to me that no one is giving the policy, and I said that don't worry, you reach Future Generali. Future Generali specializes in such odd cases and all that thing, because normally people are going to the big companies, New India and ICICI Lombard and Bajaj Allianz, that is. So Future Generali said that yes, we will insure it. Premium is 1,000 rupees plus GST. Now when we informed the client, we said that only one insurance company is ready to insure your consignment of 7,000 rupees with premium of 1,000 rupees. And that is, he said it is absurd. We said, yes, we also feel it is absurd, but this is the only quotation. He said that I will not take it. We said, fine, thank you. After a few hours, he again comes up. He says that the order which I am having is having the condition that these items will come by such and such mode and will have the insurance covered. We said, fine, if you are having order is worth lakhs of rupees, then why are you bothered about 1,000 rupees? So it is that he took the policy. So it is that specialization has to emerge in all aspects of our insurance industry. We have to have, that is, in the earlier session, there was a mention of a dengue policy, malaria policy and all that thing. When dengue and malaria comes in North India, in Delhi area, and for a period of 6 weeks, you are pricing a product which is valid for 1 year. For 10.5 months, that problem is not there, and you are putting up the premium for the whole year. So someone will come out with the product which will be, as Chetan mentioned, that is as you use basis and all that thing. So there will be micro insurance type of such products which will be only applicable for, and that is 6 weeks, for 4 weeks, which the person will take it. So it is that the industry is in the process of evolution. Now we are having, that is the people who have started thinking that in which direction they have to take their specific insurance company with the support of insurance brokerage firms, who will be giving them the ideas, who will be supporting them with this one. Maybe that there will be some support from the reinsurance side and all that thing. So it is, we will emerge, that is, and someone in Mumbai area is doing the insurance of, I think, wedding insurance, which is, and that is, which is becoming, and this product is not at all successful in North India. Maybe that we have the constraint. I am telling you because I am from Delhi, that in Delhi area, when we do the arrangements for marriages, for wedding, and to the contractor, to the caterer, to the tent house fellow, we pay so much amount in cash with a view to avoid GST, that there is no value left of the insurance policy. If we cannot justify that due to bad weather or due to political unrest, the marriage could not take place, we have nothing to prove to the insurance company that why you should compensate us for 50 lakhs, because we don't have the bills for 50 lakhs. So therefore, wedding insurance is not a common product in Delhi area, but I am told that in Mumbai it has become a very common product, successful product. So market is...
Can I comment on
Yes,
this?
yes,
Yeah.
please.
Bajaj Allianz was the first insurance company to come out with a wedding insurance policy. Now, wedding insurance policy is actually a very, very relevant policy. What happens is that now the marriages that happen, especially the high-end marriages that happen, or even in the upper middle class, you spend a sizable amount on making the arrangements. You pay to the caterers, you pay to the decorators, you pay to the band, you pay to everybody. And if something happens, suppose there is a death in a near family member dies, or there is some riot, or there is some, suppose you are planning this event in the open, and there is a hailstorm and things like that, and the marriage could not be concluded on that particular day, then the insurance company pays you for the losses that you have suffered. And that is a very valid, I think. Yeah, so this is a very pertinent insurance policy for any of the families. As you rightly said, that anything that you cannot be substantiated obviously will not get paid. But there are some very good features in this policy. Suppose there is some jewelry that gets stolen on that particular day, that is also covered in this policy. Some food poisoning happening out of the event, that is covered under this policy. So, unfortunately in our country, the awareness about insurance is very low. And people do not think of insurance as a precautionary measure. They buy the insurance only when it is necessary. Either it is enforced by law, or you have taken a loan from somewhere and it is necessary for you to buy an insurance policy, then the insurance is bought. But I think the awareness is increasing, and I'm sure that in the years to come, we will find that this one industry, general insurance industry, is going to be a sunrise industry, and the awareness about the insurance is going to grow every year.
I would like to make the last comment. Whether we are having life, non-life, general, health, all include 54 companies. Instead of 54 insurance companies dealing with all the 400 insurance brokers and then diluting their effort, if they will go in for segmentation that, okay, we will deal with these 40 insurance companies, out of that 8 in Delhi and 12 in Mumbai and like that, and then having a very close relationship, then only they will be able to have higher growth level, faster growth level, because those who succeed in Asian Games or Olympic Games are those who were committed to one sport. Many of these children of wealthy families who have been focusing on tennis and this and that and all, and cricket and all that thing, they never became the star performers. They never brought any gold medals for India. It is that successful insurance companies will have successful relationship with selected number of insurance brokerage firms, and then they will succeed. Please convey this to the right people in Bajaj Allianz and also in your company, that do not go on diluting effort in having it, because one insurance company, when they had one presentation and cocktail and dinner in Delhi, they had to write on the invitation card, please bring your invitation card as this will be used for entry into the hall, because all the insurance brokerage firms will bring 8-10 of their people for attending this cocktail, not for attending.
Thank you so much, gentlemen, for a wonderful session. Come on, everybody, please put your hands together for them. To summarize this session, as Mr. Sethi has rightly said, never try to compromise on health and healthcare. And as my mom rightly says, health is definitely wealth. So for sure, we have to take care about that. Thank you so much, gentlemen. Well, now, ladies and gentlemen, there is a choice for you. Technically a choice. Either you guys can have a 15 minutes tea break, or can we continue with the fourth session? Can we continue? How many for the tea break? Tea break? Can we have a 20 minutes tea break and then come back for the fourth session? All right, so please go ahead with the tea break and come back in the next 20 minutes for the last, but not the least, the fourth session. Thank you so much.
आँखों में रोशन उम्मीदें ली, मन में विश्वास भर हम चल दी, खुशियों का एक नया संसार रचना है, रचना है। नया इंडिया बनाना है, नया इंडिया बनाना है, पलक की ऊंचाइयों को हमें छूना है।
न्यू इंडिया एश्योरेंस में हम हर वो कदम उठाते हैं जिससे आपके सपने सच हो सके। बीमारी में हाथ पकड़कर सहलाते हैं और ठीक होने पर कान पकड़कर सेहत बनवाते हैं। आपके अपनों के जैसे सिग्ना टीटीके हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस भी आपकी हेल्थ के लिए करता है थोड़ा ज्यादा। बीमारी में प्रोटेक्टिव हीलिंग बेनिफिट्स और सेहत में प्रोएक्टिव लिविंग प्रोग्राम्स। सिग्ना टीटीके हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस, हेल्थ है तो लाइफ है।